And yo, we are back. This is the West Coast crossover, and I am JD.
And I am Jeremiah the Prophet. And this is the podcast where if your team ain't the Lakers, then your team is trash. And if your podcast ain't this, it's weak as fuck.
Facts! And we coming at you in the midst of the NBA Finals, where the Warriors currently hold a 2-0 lead. Last game, they were whooping on the Cavs. It's not looking good. I think we both called this 4-0 sweep. I know I called it a 4-0 sweep. But damn, it's not looking good for the Cavs, dog. What you think about this series so far as we move back to Cleveland? Can these dudes do anything to make this into a series?
Man, I was giving the Cavs at least 1 or 2 games. I was actually hoping that they'd do their thing at least a little bit so I could have something to watch. But really, I don't think it's so bad if LeBron James take a hard L, and it's because of all of his teammates, and it makes him want to say, fuck this bullshit, I'm going to LA.
Man, if he wasn't already thinking that before this series, he's definitely got to be thinking that now, because his teammates have been trash. Game 1, he was magnificent, dog. He put on a show, dog, game 1. And that was an entertaining game to watch from start all the way to the end, including J.R. Smith and him blowing it and all that. But game 2, man, we started to see a little bit of the difference where Golden State kind of woke up, pulled away in second and third, especially that fourth. It was just, they were looking like they were just going to really overpower the Cavs for the remainder of the series, man. I don't know if the Cavs got anything left in them.
I don't know either, dog, but I know one thing that got in them is a bunch of morons, dog, and trash players on the team, like you said, man. Dude, let's just name off a couple names, dog. First of all, J.R. Smith.
He's the leader.
Oh,
no. Mr. Henney.
Jordan Clarkson. Oh,
trash.
No.
Damn, I used to think he was good. He was good on a bad team. Put him on a finals team. Trash.
Oh, no. How about Rodney Hood? Oh, my God. That nigga's been terrible.
Dog, this nigga's having all kind of mental issues. Again, man. And you know what? The Jazz weren't even bad. He was good, averaging 17. Now this nigga can't even see the court, dog. Last thing that Tyronn Lue said was, well, I guess today, game 3, we're going to go ahead and give him a shot. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Whoa,
I don't know if that means he's 2 or 3 minutes. What is that, dog? Rodney Hood, dog. You are trash, dog. You were supposed to be traded for. You were supposed to help LeBron. You were the perfect compliment. Nigga, we can't find you, bruh. Where you at?
Man, hey, look. I done already pressed the bomb button about 10 times already while we're talking about the Cavs. You know what that means, my nigga.
Get him!
Yo, the Cavs' whole team is just super damn trash, and it really starts from the damn top down. The coaching staff, my nigga, I kind of wonder what the fuck was they thinking, you know what I mean? Tyronn Lue, for one, nigga, that's your head coach, bro.
His most famous moment is getting stepped over in the finals.
Exactly, my nigga. That he is an NBA champion. He as a player, he has a championship ring as a coach. But like you said, dog, he's known for being. I think they hired him like, nigga, who can LeBron James absolutely walk all over? This nigga Tyronn has experience being fucking walked upon, nigga.
Right, right. Play the video.
Let's go ahead and bring that in.
He's excellent at it, dog.
Exactly, nigga. Hey, have you ever noticed how like tight that nigga's suits always seem? I don't know if he's like overweight.
Oh, how is this nigga's suits tight? And this nigga's small as fuck, dog. I don't get that. Right?
He does look small, nigga. Like maybe he got like a thick neck or some kind of weird body shape, nigga. But his suits seem tight as fuck. And he seems just uncomfortable at all times, dog. Every time I see him, he looks uncomfortable.
Bruh, I think he's uncomfortable because LeBron is just like always punking this nigga and calling timeouts and not letting the head coach know what the plan is, dog. What is that about it? Tyronn Lue's kind of cool with that. Like, all right, dog, I'll just be chilling. If y'all want to let me know what's happening, cool. If not, that's cool too. My nigga, do your thing, dog. I'm gonna be over here watching.
Oh my goodness, dog. That guy he's just there to take up space. And speaking of taking up space, dog, okay, look. When they're whose decision was it? When they're rounding out the coaching staff of the Cleveland Cavaliers to be like, Nigga, you know who else we need on the bench over here, dog? Is Kendrick motherfucking Perkins, dog.
Dog, I don't know what kind of player coach role he had. Bodyguard, player coach. What is Kendrick Perkins' role on this team, dog? He's just on the bench starting trouble, nigga.
Exactly, dog. You know, really though, that's probably what it is, dog. Is that like, you know, he was never really good at anything in the NBA except for like taking up space and being like that big angry Negro that's sometimes in the way, dog. And I guess that's really still what he's doing, my nigga. Like, he's a big angry nigga on the bench that's like in Steph Curry's way, dog.
Yeah, hey, he's not even on the floor. He can't even intimidate anybody like that. That nigga just on the bench scowling, though, looking like young Jeezy. And just, I don't know. I really have no idea what Perkins' whole thing is. I know he got into a little scuffle with Drake, dog. Drake taking L's everywhere. But, dog,
Drake.
Kendrick Perkins, dog. What is your purpose, dog? What is your purpose?
Hey, nigga. Yeah, he getting beef with Drake.
Right.
and with Steph Curry. He just might have a problem with. Yeah.
Hey, that's not a good way to solidify your tough guy rep, dog. You over here beefing with Steph and Drake, dog.
You're gonna have to find, yeah. I mean, now you know he's gonna have to find somebody, you know, at least like darker than JD to beef with next time. Just to like diversify your shit, bro.
Get with Andre Iguodala or something at least.
Yeah. Exactly. You know what? Don't Kendrick Perkins look like he eat chitlins for some reason? Nigga, every time he
yes.
got a chitlin face, dude.
Like walking into the locker room, stanking like chitlins and pig's feet, dog. Not caring. He does look like one of those big country niggas that eats chitlins on the regular, dog. Like, and nigga, how do you always have chitlins on deck, nigga? That takes a long time to prepare.
Hey, that nigga looked like, you know, he looked like the kind of nigga that has like the Hall of Fame slave physique, nigga.
Nigga moves bales of hay and cotton.
Exactly.
No
that nigga,
tools, dog.
that nigga works at a Plantation Fitness, nigga.
With a prize slave body, dog. Pushing horses and oxen around.
Hey, that nigga got that permanent fucking Batman scowl on his forehead.
Kendrick Perkins is getting more run, getting roasted, dog, than he's ever going to get on the court for the Cavs. I can tell you that.
Right, and he's like literally still in the way, dog. That's hilarious to me, nigga. After he retires, he's actually in the fucking way.
Hey, and can I go back to Rodney Hood real quick, dog?
Oh, yeah.
I just really need to know, nigga, how was this nigga's head so big, dog? This nigga's looks like a 6'7" like baby, my nigga. This nigga's head. How are you 6'7", but your head looks too big for your body, nigga? I don't understand, dog.
That's real talk. You know what it really is, though? He got that Shane Battier long forehead, nigga. You know how some niggas like don't have enough forehead, nigga? Yo, it seems like your hair starts like an inch above your eyebrows, nigga, and then continues on to like a bullet-shaped point on the top of your shit.
Yeah, you're right. He has like a movie screen effect to it, bruh.
His forehead
like a fucking young dolphin or something.
That's the real talk. And then he kind of got them dolphin teeth, nigga. Don't he? Something's up with that. Something's up with his grill too, nigga.
Right.
He looked like he talked funny, nigga. I don't know what his voice sounds like, but he looked like he talked funny as fuck.
And you know that's the rest of this fucking Cleveland roster. The niggas on here are people I've never heard. Ante Zizic, dog. He has all kind of flair on top of the vowels in his name. I don't know who he is, dog. A nigga named Acario White. They don't even have a Cavs picture for this nigga. He's in a Heat jersey, dog. I don't know who this nigga is, dog. You'll never know who they are because they never get off the bench. I don't know if y'all remember Jose Calderon is on this team. I don't know if he's hurt or if he's just not playing.
I saw him for a second, dog. They got a bunch of ex-Laker bums. That's what makes me feel like LeBron's going to bounce. Like, I got to go to the Lakers because they done took all their trash players and brought them the fuck over here, dog.
Fucking give it to me.
Hey, there was one point when I was watching the game one, and J.R. Smith was fucking up. People were saying that Kevin Love was balling that game, but I was watching this nigga blow a gang of wide open three-pointers. Like, I thought that he was just really getting rebounds and passing it out.
Next to J.R. Smith and Tristan Thompson, Kevin Love does look like a baller. If you're not really paying attention, he's not, dog. He's not putting up crazy numbers.
Dog, he did not look good to me at all from the eyeball test. From the eyeball test, when I was watching the game, I'm like, the only person that really looks like they know what the fuck they're doing, sharing the ball, get out of LeBron's way, do your work on the side. I was like, you know what? Larry Nance Jr. looks like the second smartest motherfucker on the Cavs, dog.
Right, Doug. And the thing that he's doing is just, like you said, get the ball to LeBron, get out the way, dog. Try to rebound. Just whatever's left, I'll work on that. But, dog, the rest of these niggas, what are y'all doing? Y'all going to get swept.
Yeah, hey, why the fuck is Jordan Clarkson just coming in the game? Nigga, you realize this nigga had not had an assist in a month. His last assist, and he had been playing though. That's the fucked up part. He's getting like 20 minutes a game or something, dog. 20 minutes plus. And the nigga hadn't got an assist since he was in the series against Toronto, dog.
That was around Easter, dog. Let's go. Come on, Clarkson. What are you doing, dog?
Dude, he's the only nigga on the squad that's like, nigga, fuck this nigga LeBron. Nigga, I got to get him. I'm putting up shots, baby.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
Right. I couldn't believe when I saw that stat. Then I'm watching the game, and this nigga, every time he gets the ball, he's chugging it. Now, some of the times, he's shooting it wide open, and this shit is just broke. But the other times, this nigga's doing like step backs, nigga, and like, 3 dribble pull-ups on 2 niggas, dog, and bricking badly, dog.
Out 4As to the rim. Yeah, I've seen it, and it's, you know what, that trade, bro, is getting better and better every game, dog. I'm used to be like, yo, we need to keep Clarkson as a 6th guard off the bench or 3rd guard off the bench. Nah, I'm cool. He showed me a lot, dog. I'm cool. You can keep Clarkson.
Yeah, I'm cool on that too, man. This nigga, maybe the moment is just too big for my nigga. I'm not gonna roast him too bad. But while we're still talking about Cavs players, nigga, people don't really talk bad about my G, but I'm looking at Kyle Korver, dog, and I'm like, nigga, why are your eyes so far apart, my nigga? That nigga looks like a hammerhead fucking white man shark.
I don't know what's up with his eyes, bro. They is kind of googly. It makes me wonder, how does he shoot so well, dog?
Hey, sometimes it be like that. I remember looking at Tracy McGrady and being like, there's no way this nigga could shoot. Look at this nigga's eyes, bro. They're looking at 2 different directions. But that nigga shit was wet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's Kyle Korver. He definitely has those Cookie Monster eyes, dog.
Exactly, something. That's exactly what it is. Them Cookie Monster eyes, like that nigga could like stand, like the defense could be right in front of him, and he could just look around them, nigga.
Warp his vision around solid objects.
Yeah. What was that
nice
movie?
Pass. How'd you see that?
What was that movie that had like Angelina Jolie and shit? And remember the motherfuckers used to shoot a bullet, nigga, and whip that shit?
Wanted.
Yeah, Wanted, nigga. You'll just whip a bullet around a motherfucking pole or something and still shoot a nigga. I think that's how that nigga's vision works.
Whip a 3-pointer up over you, like you thought you was in his face, dog, but he saw right around you. Proper angle. Wet. Do that.
That shit happened, man. So, man, the Warriors are looking like they're going to get another dub, man. Right now, as we speak, the Cavs are down 0-2, about to play their 3rd game in Cleveland. Do you think this is one of those situations where they might be able to get some wins on the road and make the shit look better?
Man, I think it's just hard for me to believe that anybody is going to sweep LeBron James. I just think there's just going to be one game where the Warriors are kind of relaxed. They kind of take the game off. The Cavs are kind of turned up. LeBron goes off, and they manage to pull a game out. That might be this game where they come out, they're turned up. They're kind of thinking in their heads like, okay, all they did was take care of business at home. Now it's our turn to come take care of business at home. Come out turned up and actually steal game 3 and make it a 4-1 series, man. But they better do that in game 3, because if they lose game 3, man, they might as well just call it a wrap, bro, and hand the Warriors the trophy after that game, because it's going to be a sweep if they don't win this game.
Yeah, man, I gotta agree, bro. This last game, this next game coming up, they're going to be in Cleveland, and I really kind of think that the Warriors might come into that mug purposefully not slacking. You know what I mean? Coming into there knowing, all right, man, we can't rest on our laurels. We have seen LeBron get live before. I could see Draymond pumping up everybody in the locker room and being like, man, don't fall off. Let's get this shit in. Let's go out there and take these niggas out in 4. And they come out in the first and second quarter out there in the Quicken Loans Arena and start blowing that ass out by even maybe 10 or 12, it might get out.
It's going to look bad because you know how the Warriors get after halftime. They come out in the third, and for whatever reason, they're really able to put it on teams and blow teams out in that third quarter. So if they go into the halftime with the lead, lights out for the Cavs.
Nigga, I was watching that last game, and one of the announcers was kind of giving a backhanded compliment, like talking about, KD, oh shit, okay, KD got a haircut, nigga, and and it was funny is that he said that shit like really kind of like low key, like
really trying to slide in a subtle joke reference.
Yeah, and I thought that was kind of funny, dog. And then I looked at it close, like, oh, what? He got a new haircut? Let me see. And then really it was just like he took the nap garden down like to a 1, nigga. But my man has a serious situation going on there.
He does. We spoke about that before, from scabies to mange to just plain not giving a fuck, dog. Yeah, it's been a bad situation up there. We know that, and it's been on this full display this entire finals, dog.
Yeah, I mean, he could be the MVP of the finals. He could make $100 million, but you know, he still got that badass kid hairstyle, nigga.
Dog. He's always gonna look like a burn victim.
Full life. Just the scalp though. That's what's the craziest.
Like Michael Jackson in that Pepsi commercial or something.
Do you think? You know what? It just popped in my mind. Do you think maybe he had that certain texture back in the day? Because you remember back in the day, nigga, like, you know, motherfuckers used to get roasted when we came up behind that shit, and motherfuckers was a little bit more brainwashed. There wasn't a natural hair movement going on. So his mom's back out there in DC might have been like, oh, my son's shit is like really kinky. I might have to fucking give this nigga a little perm situation or something. Maybe he fried his scalp, nigga, with a Just For Me kit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's possible.
It's possible. Hey, yeah, he tried to get a perm in there when his hair was too short.
Yeah, left that shit in too long and had like a really fried perm at one point, nigga, and his fucking scalp never recovered.
Well, then like a week later, she was like, well, now that your hair's a little longer, let me try it again.
Yeah. And then wait the recommended time.
Those old wounds weren't properly healed yet, dog. Threw another perm on there. It's been a wrap ever since. It's been spotty, literally and figuratively, ever since.
Hey, that very well just could be the case, man. I'm kind of thinking that that's just what happened, man. But hey, whatever got to happen, happened. That's just what it is, bro.
Patchwork. You think LeBron tries to roast KD about what's going on in his hair, dog?
You know what? LeBron probably leaves any hair situations alone. He's trying to make sure that niggas forget about him balding, nigga, to where just like, you know, in the end, it's just going to be like, this nigga got a solid set of hair, nigga, but not knowing that shit is like 75% pubic. It's at least, that nigga's hair is, I don't want to go too high. I'm going to say 40% pubic hair, nigga.
And there's no male pattern baldness to it. It's all random baldness.
No. Look. Full disclosure, your boy Prophet is, of course, balding, man. I'm trying to grow my shit out a little bit, nigga. I done look like some of the fucking Beijing and all the different shit you could sprinkle on your shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to sprinkle my mane on my hairline.
You got a few soldiers still standing.
Yeah, I got a few soldiers up there, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I ain't like 100% like Uncle Phil with my shit. Mine is just a little, you know what I'm saying? It's the beginnings, you know? And I look at LeBron shit, and I know, nigga, I know some chemical treatments and fucking transplants when I see one. I believe that nigga did like some armpit, chest hair, fucking chest hair transplant, you know what? Nigga. That shit don't match his texture.
It's bad, dog. And that's another, all the more reason for him to come out to LA.
Yeah,
get those regular treatments, dog.
I don't know, man. You know, sometimes they pluck hair from like the back of your hair and put that shit in the front. I think my nigga don't ever
took hair off his back and chest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It looked like chest hair or like shoulder hair,
armpit hair. Dog.
Yeah, it's like that nappy hair, like the sebaceous hair.
Like
oil
Kendrick
gland
Perkins
hair,
is
nigga.
donating his beard hair. Dog. Here you go.
Oh, speaking of beard hair, Doug, my wife yesterday was like, look at Steph Curry trying to grow him a little beard. We're watching that shit because my wife likes beards, nigga. And she was like, oh, ain't that cute? Steph Curry trying to grow a beard. I was like, that's kind of disrespectful, baby. Don't say it like that. Don't say, his shit don't all the way connect, you know what I'm saying? His shit is struggling, you know?
Bruh,
you see that?
Low key, I got the sad face emoji going on in my heart because I know that struggle all too well.
Yeah, your shit is struggling too, my nigga.
I'm older than Steph Curry. It's been a struggle all my life. Ain't nothing connecting over here.
hey, it's all love. Keep the baby face, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Black don't crack. And
that's what I always holler.
Yeah. So when you keep it clean, you know, it just keep you looking young. Steph Curry is going to look young no matter what, man, because his shit don't connect. He kind of got that Jamaican nap beard kind of going on. You know, kind of how you got the side.
That island type stuff.
Yeah, you got a little island where your shit is just struggling to make ends meet. You know? You know what I'm saying? He got certain peeps on his face that like ain't connected with each other in a while. You know what I mean?
Right.
That kind of situation he got going on. I ain't mad at him though. You know, trying to have a little scruff. You know what I mean? He got his MVP mode look on right now. He's trying to win MVP. I could tell. He's taking shots and being more aggressive than he's been in other finals. He's tired of people talking shit about, you know, little baby KD can't do it on the big stage. And I mean,
so you think Steph's going to get that this series, or you think it's going to go to KD or somebody else? You think somebody else might step up these last couple games, or could the impossible happen and the Cavs stretches out to 7 and just some name that we weren't even thinking about steps up?
Man, I think that with the Cavs possibly getting swept, it's impossible for LeBron to get the MVP and take that bad of an L. I mean, they don't give it to the losing team anyway. But there's been a lot of times where LeBron, they've lost. The times that they've lost so far, LeBron was the MVP for every time they've played each other. I mean, that's just facts, dog, in my opinion, you know. But that's just not how voting works. So I'm going to say that, yes, Steph Curry is going to get the MVP. He has been playing hard enough and well enough. And if he just scores the same as Klay Thompson and KD, he will get the MVP because he ain't got it yet. That's just how voting works.
All right. So before we wrap this segment up, what is your prediction for the rest of this series?
I say I'm going to have to... if I had to take pick one thing, I would say it's sweep. My heart is saying it's a wrap.
Yo, I think I was really trying to lean towards the Cavaliers winning game 3, just coming out full of emotion and everything like that. LeBron having a big game. But in my personal opinion, I think that the rest of the roster is going to find a way to fuck it up, and J.R. Smith is going to come into the game and lead that charge of fucking up, and it's just not going to be enough. Cavs are going to lose game 3. LeBron's going to be like, fuck it, I can't do it, and they're just going to get blown out game 4, and that's going to be that. Warriors in 4.
Yeah, I could see if they take one more L where LeBron balls the fuck out and everybody else blows it for him, one more fucking time. No way, bro. They're going to. LeBron's going to. I think then
they've done it enough time.
Yeah, then in the fourth, if that happens in the third game, then in the fourth, LeBron might just pack it up and be like, man, fuck this shit. Pull one of them, you know, I mean.
Like Kobe did that one game.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking of. Not LeBron and Kobe are both like high-spirited competitors. And sometimes that shit works against you to where it's like, man, fuck this shit, nigga. You know, y'all niggas drive me fucking crazy. You know what? Here, y'all do that shit, man, you know?
Yes, y'all do it. Pass the ball to J.R. Smith because you know what? I need to see some more J.R. Smith memes come out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there does come a point like that. As a coach, I cannot name names because I coach children, nigga, and I'll be pretty fucked up even for me.
Hey, life lesson, nigga. Put their names out there. Life lesson.
But I've coached kids before that you got the parents out there like, oh, man, if they just had a chance more, you know, they would ball. Or the kids that are like, man, there ain't nobody passing me the ball. Or, you know, or that have just been fucking up so much that no matter what we do, they're fucking it all up. And still they got in their mind that they're the man of the team. And I've had some times where I'm like, you know what? I'll pull out the kid that I think is the one that is keeping the team together. Because I normally play him a lot. You know, that dude that plays a whole lot, I'll take that dude out because everybody's been complaining about him getting all the playing time, and just let that motherfucker just play. All right, fine. Here, show everybody, show yourself, show your parents what you do when you got the ball in your hands, nigga. And then at the end of the game, everybody always shuts the fuck up. LeBron
they prove how whack they are, dog.
No, you never hear nothing at the end. You never hear shit. There's never like a, oh man, good looking out. Thanks for playing my son. They just like grab their kid by the fucking wrist and like go to the car to go cuss him out. Or what the fuck goes on, nigga. That is probably what LeBron might be thinking. If he takes another L because of his teammates, he may be like, you know what? Y'all go ahead and do y'all thing, and everybody will know why I take my black ass to Houston or Philadelphia or wherever the hell he go next year, and nobody will say nothing.
Facts. So I think so. I could see that situation happening, man. But I definitely think LeBron is out of there at the end of this year. We'll see how that works in the Lakers' favor, or, you know, Houston, Philly, or any of the other teams that he's rumored to go to, man. So that's how we feel about the finals. But in addition to that, man, there's some other things that we're going to be doing throughout the summer. We're going to be getting other people involved in the show. We got one of those situations for you right now, man. Prophet, why don't you go ahead and introduce that?
Yeah, man. I there's been a lot of talk in this playoffs about the refereeing that has been going on between the teams. I have felt at a lot of different times, even though I don't have a vested interest in either one of these teams, that the Cavs have been getting fucked over a little bit by the refs in crucial times.
I thought the refs have been kind of whack both ways.
Well, maybe that's just my perception of it. But there has been either way a lot of talk about the officiating. Absolutely. And so I have a friend that by the name of Ivan Jackson, who is an actual licensed referee, and he's a big time referee, not just a little, YMCA ref. My dude has refereed NBA games, USA World games, and also many NCAA games and Final Four games and such. And he has a very good understanding of how they select referees and how referees are judged on their work. And it was very interesting. So we're going to get into an interview with him and talk about that, as well as what it's like for he's a Chicago Bulls fan. And we're going to be talking to a lot of different people about their teams and their interest in the playoffs when they're like us as Laker fans and their team is not there, how they view the playoffs and the offseason coming up. So without further ado, let's get into the interview where I talk to my man, Ivan Jackson, the referee. Let's get it. What up, Ivan Jackson, man? How you doing, my man, bro?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great, man. It's a beautiful day and whatnot. It's good, man. So I'm good, man. I can't complain. It's glorious. Anytime you're above ground, man, it's a blessing, man. So
you ain't never lied, absolutely, bro. It is a blessing to be above ground, man. So, and while we both above ground, who's not above ground is our teams, bro. Both of our teams are dead in the water, man. The Lakers and the Bulls. I was roasting a little bit, but I'm just messing around, man. We both looking bad right now, man. How do you feel on your season this year?
We stunk it up. There was promise. We did have our rookie. He was
Lauri Markkanen.
Larkin was on first team all rookie. So that's big up. The Bulls, Chicago's different, man. We had our stuff with the Jordan in the Jordan era and then the Scottie era briefly. Then we took a toll, went downhill. When the Derrick Rose era started, that was promise.
Yeah.
And now, the biggest thing with the Bulls is the management of the team. Anybody from Chicago, they understand the logistics, when
Krause is terrible, bro. They're trash.
Yeah, Reinsdorf with Jerry and Jerry had the team. They made sure people got paid. Now Gar Forman is the president, and it's he not as bad as Sam Hinkie, but he.
I don't know about that, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. My take on the Bulls, dude, for lots of years is I don't think that they really care about winning. I think they just want to get somebody in their seats. Like they just want a good player to have. If they can get a hold of a Derrick Rose through the draft or through any kind of way, they ain't gonna do a whole lot to put around him. Because if it costs money, historically though, the Bulls owner, I don't think he's really about spending all that money. And I think that, some teams just kind of get stuck over and over again in that little middling ground, man. You know what I'm saying? At least Sam Hinkie, he might have been trashed for whatever different reasons. My man had a little plan about how he was trying to build, tank for a long time so they could at least win at some damn point. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that the Bulls look at it like that, man.
You know what? I think the Bulls have money in reserve, man. They probably still spending money from the second championship that they won in '92 against the Blazers. But I think that on a large scale, man, being in the city of Chicago, we had high expectations. You know what I'm saying? We've been waiting on the football team. We still mad that they fired Lovie Smith. You know what I mean? They had a winning record when we didn't need that. We got Jay Cutler out there, but when it comes to the Bulls, man, they got money. They can go out and get people. It's just a matter of, are they going to get people? And, I believe that the organization knows that they're in the East. At the moment, Cleveland is the team to beat. So if they're in the middle and if they put teams together or a product on the floor that can be at least competitive, regardless of having a big name or not, that, maybe, through luck or through, because everybody's a professional, you happen to get a win. There's something to fall their way and whatnot. But, Kobe was on his way to Chicago prior to Shaquille O'Neal.
Y'all wish y'all could snatch Kobe from us.
Kobe, hey, real talk, Kobe, already, him and Vanessa came out. They actually had already bought a house. And then when they said that they were shipping Shaq, he was like, oh, I'm staying. And so,
yeah, because everybody know if you got your choice, you're gonna stay in LA, baby. That's where you live at. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Nobody want a part of the Chicago Hawk in the wintertime, man, and in the snow. Trust me.
Yeah, man.
But at the end of the day, it's not a small market team like a Minneapolis,
right?
Or that something like that. But it's we about due, man. If Gar Foreman is listening. I'm speaking for all Chicagoans. We need a product on the floor that we can be proud of.
Man, but that's the thing, dog. How do y'all look? How do y'all take it? Because you know how the Lakers are, man. You out here in LA, being from Chicago, and you see how we got a lot of fair weather fans out here in California, a lot more than what you would see, in a place like Chicago where they love their team and don't be wavering as much. You know what I'm saying? But one thing about the Laker fans out here, man, you talk about having expectations, dog. We be tripping about any kind of rebuilding process, and it seems like Chicago has been rebuilding for years, bro. They shit seem like real slow. Like they don't. That's what I mean. They don't ever want to tear it down and start from the bottom. Is that true?
Nah, that's true. You only as good as who is the head.
Right.
When the Lakers was doing their thing, they wanted to win, so they went out and they drafted the right people. They put the people together. Who can say no to LA because of the weather? Additionally, look at all the chances. We joke about it all the time, Chicago versus LA, but LA, the Lakers is probably one of the top 5 franchises ever of all time, regardless of sport. Up there with the Yankees, and you can go on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? As far as, their expectation, and I believe that, as a public and people, we see Magic Johnson now as the head. Right. Magic Johnson is not going to take anything on where his name is on it and it's associated with losing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's what I hope at least. You know what I'm saying? Except for when he was coaching the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? He took a lot of L's.
Exactly. They took a toll.
Hey.
They took a whole bunch, man. But yeah, man. So
all right. Both of us got teams with some young players starting over a little bit. You know what I mean? Outside of the playoff race. And both of us are going into the next season with a little cap space, looking at free agents. I know there's been a lot of talk about the Lakers are trying to go after big names like LeBron and damn Paul George, and they're going to have to, maybe even DeMarcus Cousins, I've heard. Are there any rumblings that you hear a lot, or is there like that one player that you say, man, I hope Chicago can sign such a, because you don't tell me. I don't want to hear nothing about no LeBron and Paul George, none of them, because they ain't going over there to play with Lauri Markkanen and Chris Dunn. But is there a dude that you're like, you know what, man? Let me get that JJ Redick, bro, or whatever it is. That's a free agent coming up right now.
There are two players who I believe that, as far as with the Bulls, who I feel that they should be serious about. Not only because they can play, but also because the Bulls can pay them because they have the cap space.
Let me hear
the number one player I feel like should be on their list is Kawhi Leonard.
Ooh.
I feel like Kawhi Leonard. I mean, he's the face of an organization, but at the same time, I think Kawhi Leonard needs a change. I personally, I think the Bulls should go after Kawhi Leonard. Secondly,
they had to trade for him, though. You know they got to trade.
They will have to. We got picks and money. Trust me. And the second one, I would say Anthony Davis.
Wow, bro, you shooting a big string. These dudes ain't even free agents, though.
But I mean, think about it. Anthony Davis is going to be. You got to pay him his money because he's in the top 5 in the NBA right now.
Right.
On top of that, he is a Chicago product. He can put people in the stands.
Is that why he's so ugly? I'm just messing with you, bro. I'm messing with you. I'm just playing with you, brother, because you from Chicago.
The unibrow, man. It's all. I mean, when you think about it, when the Bulls drafted Derrick Rose was a Chicago kid.
Yeah.
He was a baller. So therefore, you know what I'm saying? Not only could he ball, but he was a Chicago kid. Everybody was waiting on, people from Chicago, we call him Pooh. We don't call him Derrick. You know what I'm saying? We was waiting on Pooh to get on the NBA floor. And when he came to Chicago, that was even more reason for everybody from the city to go out to support because Chicago's like none other, especially with prep basketball.
Yeah.
And then lead, and having everybody as it pertains to, making it to the NBA, man. So, also another Chicago guy who I think needs a change of scenery. Jabari Parker.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Jabari Parker, man. Jabari Parker. Big ups to Jab, his father, Sonny. You know what I'm saying? Who I know real well. The stuff they do in the community within the city. But Jabari Parker, come on down 94. You got an iPass. I know you can pay for all the tolls. You know what I'm saying? Come on down. And he already in Chicago anyway all the time. So, Jabari Parker would be perfect.
Would you want Jabari Parker right now? Because I felt like when he came into the league, honestly, you're from Chicago, the family and everything. We'll get into that a little bit. But just as someone who coaches AAU ball and has a son that we watch all the highlights. We know about all the little 8th graders and everybody else that ball. I've been following Jabari Parker since he was about in the 7th, 8th grade online, And I always thought that he was going to be a baller, and I still hold that out for him. I know he's had some injuries, but he has seemed like he's had a little bit of problems with his coaches and getting burned and shit. Do you really want him just because he's from Chicago, or you think he still got it in the ball?
He still got it in him. The reason why he got a problem with his coaches is because he hasn't been playing. When Jabari Parker was on the floor at all times, when Jabari Parker, prior to him getting hurt, he was a walking 20-8 on the floor. Easy.
On a trash team, though.
It don't matter. It's 20-8.
Yeah, dude. Ask Jordan Clarkson about that
shit. Think about it, man. Think about it, man. Think about it. He, you know what I'm saying? Jabari Parker got game, man. He's like a bigger. He's not as, I wouldn't say he hasn't proved himself to be like Carmelo yet, but he has that Carmelo type.
Yeah. He reminds me of Melo.
Yeah. Right, he reminds you of Melo. He got a mid-range game. He got an outside game. He got an inside game. He's 6'8", 6'9". He can put the ball on the floor and he can play on the perimeter. So with Jab, I think that he wants to prove himself. That Chicago, spirit is in him because kids from Chicago, guys from Chicago, we know, we want to prove ourselves. That's that competitive nature that we get growing up in the city and whatnot. So, I would definitely take my chances on Jabari Parker. I would also take my chances on.
Right? And he a restricted. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to cut you off, but he's a restricted free agent, right? So they're gonna have to pry him from what team he's on, and he's gonna cost you, bro, right? And you willing to pay for that? It's
hard. It's hard. I will say this: if I'm him, it's hard to pry him from Milwaukee because Milwaukee right now is a playoff team. And depending on who Milwaukee gets as their coach, I don't know. I've been on vacation, man. So I've been, other than the finals, man, I haven't really been looking at the news as to, what coaching transactions have occurred. But depending on who's the coach in Milwaukee will also be one of the determining factors as well. If you can get a Mark Jackson in there to run that franchise, I say stay. You don't need to be moved. And whatnot, just to get in there, sometimes you need guys to come in just to change the culture, and whatnot.
Yeah, I can see that. I heard that they have interviewed the likes of Mark Jackson and maybe even Kenny Smith, I think. But I also heard another name that's been really picking up steam over there that I heard was Becky Hammond. Becky Hammond, female. And I think that might be dope, bro. With Giannis over there, man, he'll handle that.
I'm with that. I'm with Becky Hammond, man. She played the game. She knows the game. She's been under Popovich for the last maybe 4 or 5 years, so she's only being a sponge and learning. And the biggest thing is, I pay attention to body language. Mm-hmm. I pay attention to, the little aesthetic things. When the guys come off the floor out of a timeout, when they come onto the floor and she's talking to them, the players are alert, the players are attentive, and they're receptive to what,
she's got command. She has command of the whole, the situation. Exactly. It's dope. Yeah, I feel you talking about, man. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. You're speaking from up close when you're talking about these players and referees. Give us just like a quick 1 minute background on your refereeing experience with the NBA.
Huh? Man, so so the people that don't know, I am a basketball official. I'm in maybe my 16th year. I started refereeing when I was 18. Shout out to my mom. I did not want to referee at all. She said it'd be a good way for me to make money. I was working at Sports Authority. Hey. And she took the keys of my car, told me to take the test to become a referee. Otherwise, I wouldn't be driving anymore. I was pissing and moaning, filling it out. I started refereeing. And then once that tax-free money started coming in, I was like, I like this. I really do. Hey. But more so, a lot, so that's how I got started. I did a little high school coming out. I was 18, 19. I went to grad school. I got my degree, my undergrad when I was 20. Got my grad degree when I was 22. But I knew that I wanted to.
On a basketball scholarship, right? On a basketball scholarship, right? Because
basketball scholarship, and then I was, I also was an assistant men's basketball coach, a grad assistant. So that took care of my master's degree and whatnot. So I know I'm gonna become a referee, man, and on the side. So I was 22 years old. I was hired Division I in Ohio Valley Conference, Atlantic Sun Conference, and then working some Division II in Pennsylvania, all the way up to working in the most previously working men's basketball, working Division I primarily. Also within that time frame had the ability to. I was identified by the NBA for training and development. I worked in the developmental league at that time, which is now called the G League. Yes, sir. For 4 years, completed that training. Hey. Additionally, in 2008, 2009 season, or the 2009-2010 season, I forgot. I think the 09-010 season, the NBA refs went on strike. So all the D League referees, we actually referee in the NBA as NBA officials for the.
And y'all was good. Y'all wasn't like the replacement refs in the NFL. Y'all handle y'all business.
Exactly. We were good because the majority of us were trained from the D League program or the current G League program. So we knew, and we were all trying to get to the NBA anyway as officials. Yeah. So, we all went out there just to, as humble to brace the opportunity, and, kind of put a stamp on all of us that were, that still had aspirations. So yeah, man. So I've been doing that, working in a multitude of leagues around the country, man. We'll be here forever. I'll tell you which leagues I work in, but
right. I was just going to say, just to kind of, give a little bit of an overview. I remember you reffing like a USA World Games or something like USA Olympic team games, which I thought that was pretty damn dope.
Exactly. So I also am a USA basketball official. I also referee FIBA, which is international, and then FIBA 3x3, which 3x3 is 3-on-3 highest play internationals because it's an Olympic sport. The United States is light years behind, and they put a circuit out for people. So if you ever get a chance, go on YouTube, Google FIBA 3x3 basketball. The rules are totally different, but it's an awesome game. So I've been blessed to have a 3x3 opportunity to work in many avenues within the United States, and then coming up, in the next couple of years, moving that on the international level.
That's real super duper dope, man. I've seen pictures. This is my friend, and I've seen personal pictures of you with, Klay Thompson and Carmelo and LeBron and shit like that, man. And that's got to be a dope experience. Hey, did you ever, pat LeBron on the back or anything, man?
My first LeBron James experience, man, was when I was 18 years old. I had just got my referee license in Illinois, and I always did 2-person officiating. So my mentor at that time, he wanted me to come to do this tournament in Chicago, and I was like, okay, cool. And he was on one court, and they were doing 3-person officiating. So he was like, you know what? Let me, we're gonna try to break you in and learn how to do 3-person. At the same time, I'm sitting on the sideline watching him, and I see all these people walk into the gym: Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, and everybody at that time. This was 2000. This is the summer of 2002, because the NBA pre-draft camp used to be at Moody Bible. So everybody that was in the draft at that time, Eddie Griffin, Ron Gazard, I can go on and on and on. Guys that, it was just a motorcade from Moody Bible Institute, which is downtown Chicago, to Percy Julian High School on the south side. So you see all these people just walking in. I'm like, man, Grant Hill walked in. I'm like, what's all these people? So my mentor was like, hey, man, on the other court, they need a third. They want to run 3-man. Go ahead and step in. So I'm like, okay, cool. So the ball goes up. All I know is the crowd. All I know is so many doggone people watching this game.
Yeah.
And I go up and down the court, and all of a sudden this guy comes out of nowhere and dunks the ball. And I'm like, damn, that's LeBron James. So that was my first.
So it was when Brown was at St. Mary's in high school.
He was going to be a senior at St. Vincent St. Mary's. He played for the Northeast Ohio Shooting Stars, and that game was against Team Minnesota. Nike Team Minnesota. Shout out to Larry McKenzie, coach of Team Minnesota, who's still doing that Minneapolis North, who's a good friend of mine and frat brother. I still remember that game because he said that I was the only person that was not afraid to blow against LeBron.
Oh, so you did a little home cooking for your boy. I feel
and it was a close game. It was a very close game. Right. They respected me because they thought that he was gonna get all the calls, but I mean, I don't know. I don't. I was doing my thing.
Yeah, you've always seemed real fair. I've seen you. He's actually reffed some games of my sons. I've seen you on TV different times, and I feel like you do a really good job. And I'm not just saying that because you're a homie. When I see you on the court side, I know that people are ain't no funny business going on. You take it serious. I never catch you, your eyes wandering somewhere where they shouldn't be. Like you see some referees, I never catch you not jogging, sprinting back to where you need to be at, or taking your time to get that angle you need. Man, I could say Mr. Jackson is an outstanding ref in my opinion, and I mean that. And it's probably because you're a Jackson, like your boy Jeremiah. Probably
exactly. I got about 3 minutes because my wife is telling me I need to come eat.
Hey, well that's cool. We can go ahead and get out of here. But before we leave, I got one question and one question only, baby. How do you feel about the officiating in the finals so far? I personally believe that there's been a lot of missed calls. It seems extra to me, and I do not have an interest in the teams, so I really don't have no reason to do my normal Laker bias thing. So how do you feel being someone who has no bias and is a referee?
So first of all, you got to understand the 12 guys that referee the finals are the top 12 guys in the NBA, and they are there because of their body of work throughout the entire season. As an NBA official whole, is 64 officials on staff, including about 5 non-staff members. They average about 95 to 96% accuracy for the entire season. And I believe that, and you know what's crazy? they still trying to get better. You know what I mean? Everybody knows that a perfect game is not going to be called. There's the element of human error. I believe that the non-calls are always going to be elevated and more magnified because it's the finals. People always say, what about this call? What about that call? You know, as an official, I'm going to say, well, what about that turnover? What about that man shot? What about that, you know, that turnover and whatnot? And I think that I personally, to answer your question, I feel like the officiating is good. And there's also the self-assessment piece that a lot of people don't get at home. You know, the most people that are that are most critical of the officials are the officials themselves. Because if they don't get the plays right, they don't get the game. If they don't get the game, this is their livelihood. So that means that they can't take care of their family like the way that they want to. So there's an entire level of accountability that's behind this. And even me as an official, I'll be the first one to say, if I miss something, I got it wrong. Now I can't go and tell me nor any other official go and say, hey, I got it wrong all night long. But at the end of the day, those officials that are working the games are there for a reason, because they have exhilarated what the NBA wants. They're full-time crew chiefs. They, think about it. You know, they refereeing from October, which is preseason, till June. They're going to take a couple months off and whatnot, because only 12 make the finals. And then they're going to be back at work mid-September getting ready for October again.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So, I feel like, granted, there are missed calls.
Yeah.
And by all means, it's going to be missed calls. It's going to be missed calls until Kingdom Come. But understand, and what people need to look at is that as an official, we don't just go out there and blatantly miss calls. We miss calls because we're not in the proper position.
Mm-hmm.
So because you got 50 camera angles that can see that live speed, opposed to, me moving one way, thinking that the defense is going to go in the opposite way, but the defense comes with me. Shot goes up real quick. Now I'm blocked from seeing a foul, but then I don't call a foul. Everybody's looking at me, but I'm working hard. So it's just a piece, that people are getting better. And the NBA is doing a good job of that, because now they have the program where they bring fans in to meet the officials at a secluded location and talk about the game to kind of bridge the gap with the officials. So they're doing a good job, man. They're doing a real good job. And, at the end of the day, the right team, for the most part, will always win the game.
Well, you've heard it here straight from the horse's mouth, man. This is a dude that has officiated NBA games. I've seen him myself on TV. And he has been a referee, plenty enough times to know exactly how this works. My man said, you heard him say, that referees are often they're reprimanded, they have a lot of accountability, and that those are the best that the world has to offer as far as referees. So all of us niggas that sitting at home watching TV can't do no better. That's real talk. I would definitely agree with that. All right, my man. Well, I'm gonna let you go ahead and handle your business, man. I hear things going on, bro.
All right, man. I appreciate you, man, for having me.
You have a blessed one, bro.
You too, boss.
Be out. Well, that was my man, Ivan Jackson. Thank you very much for coming on. You guys got to hear that Ivan says referees are pretty much judged on how many calls they make or miss, and that actually they get 95% of the calls that they make right, even upon review, and it's meant to be improved, man. The perception is that referees are having difficult time or not making the right calls, but as Ivan states, referees at the NBA level are pretty much the baddest referees that the world has to offer.
And not bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good.
Good. And we can't do no better. That's bullshit to believe that we could they're missing calls when we're watching shit on slow motion. And I have to agree with what my man said right there.
Facts. And shout out to Ivan Jackson for coming on and offering up that insight, man. Very valuable knowledge for myself, and I'm sure for a lot of the WCC fans out there and other NBA fans as well. So shout out to Ivan Jackson.
Yo, and if you do not agree with my man and you say, man, fuck that, them niggas need to do better, be better, leave it in the comments and tell us all about it. Make sure you subscribe to the West Coast Crossover on all of our streaming apps. I am Jeremiah the Prophet.
And I am JD, westcoastcrossover.com. Go there. We are revamping that site. Don't forget to download the podcast on iHeart, iTunes, all your musical apps. And also don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Once again, I am JD.
And I'm Jeremiah the Prophet. And we out.
We out. Peace.
Hey.